So today we're going to look at what happens when we apply exponent rules to quotients. Yesterday was products, which is multiplication. Today we're going to talk about what happens to quotients when you have exponents. So first of all, let's look at an example of if I gave you something like, let's do like x to the fifth over x to the third power. Okay, so let's think about what that means for a second. X to the fifth means x times x times x times x times x. X to the third means x times x times x. So going back to like basics of simplifying fractions, we know that we can reduce it by crossing out common factors. So there's an x in the numerator and denominator, another x, and another x. What I'm left with is x squared. So let's look at these two and figure out, okay, well, how can I arrive to this x squared conclusion looking at just the numerical exponents? So it's subtraction. 5 minus 3 is 2. So like over here, 8 to the 10th over 8 to the 4th, 10 minus 4 is 8 to the 6th. Okay, I'm just going to move over here to letter C. Negative 3 to the 9th over negative 3 to the 3rd would be the quantity negative 3 to the 6th, because 9 minus 3 is 6. Letter E, 6 to the 11th over 6 to the 5th. 6 to the 11 minus 5 is 6. So let's look at this second row. We're going to kind of combine what we did yesterday and today. So I know that in the numerator, if I'm multiplying them together, I add the exponents. So that's 5 to the 12th over 5 to the 7th. 12 minus 7 is 5. Okay, on letter D, this is like saying fraction times a fraction. 1 times x to the 6th is x to the 6th over x to the 4th times 1 is x to the 4th. 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, and then on letter F, 9 to the 4th times 9 to the 3rd is going to be 9 to the 12th, not 12th, hello, Miss McAnally, 9 to the 4 plus 3, not times 3, right, is 7 over 9 squared. 7 minus 2 is 5. So all we're doing is subtracting those exponents. So let's look at when it's a quotient. So let's just say I had like x squared over y, and I'm raising all of this to the 4th power. So all that's going to happen is that this means I have x squared over y times x squared over y times x squared over y times x squared over y. So on the numerator, that's x to the 8th, and in the denominator, y to the 4th. All I'm doing is exactly what I did yesterday. When I have a power to a power, I multiply the exponents. 2 times 4 is 8. This has like a placeholder exponent of 1. 1 times 4 is 4. So let's look at a few examples. So letter G, I have x over y to the 3rd. That's just going to be x to the 3rd over y to the 3rd. On letter H, I have a negative, and I'm squaring it. When I square a negative, it's going to be a positive, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 7 squared is 49 over x squared is x squared, right? Think about what it means. It means negative 7 over x times negative 7 over x. 7 times 7 is 49. X times x is x squared. Negative times negative is positive. Okay, let's look at J. I have x to the 2nd to the 5th. That's x to the 10th over 4 to the 5th, y to the 5th. And then letter, oh, I skipped a bunch. Hello, let's go back up here and look at I. So everything inside, right, it's like this whole parentheses, it's going 4x squared over 5y, 4x squared over 5y. So what do I have in the numerator? 4 to the 3rd x to the 6th over 5 to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. 4 to the 3rd, x to the 6th, 5 to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. Let's look together at k. So again, everything inside is going to get raised to the 3rd power. 2 to the 3rd, x to the 6th, over 3 to the 3rd, y to the 3rd, and then I'm multiplying this by y to the 5th over 16. So let's look and see if we can simplify anything here. So first of all, I know that if I have 5 y's in the numerator and 3 in the denominator, 5 minus 3 is just y squared. But now I have to look at this 16 number. So 2 to the 3rd is 8. So let me rewrite this here. So I have 8 x to the 6th, y to the squared, y to the 2nd over 3 cubed is 27 times 16. So I know that 16 and 8 are both divisible by 8. So x to the 6th, y to the 2nd over 27 times 2 is 54. And then this very last one, which is way easier than this one, a squared 5 times would be a to the 10th. B 5 times is b to the 5th.